All right, man. So no intro today, cause you know what that means. We hopping straight into another reaction video. Drop a like, subscribe, leave a comment, and if you haven't noticed, the Memphis Grizzlies have been going crazy on offense and defense. I found a video by Thinking Basketball. Shout out to them again. The video link always in the description. But yeah, we gonna see why they got one of the best defense in the league, cause they have been going crazy. All right, so like I said, yo, shout out Thinking Basketball, man. Let's hop straight into the video. Let's see what he's talking about.
Memphis has the best defensive efficiency in the NBA, and a ton of that success is due to the growth of Jaren Jackson Jr. 3 years ago,
Yeah,
I
low
called
key.
Jackson a defensive prodigy,
Oh,
and
what a
after some
block! Oh
growing
my
pains
god.
and a year lost to injury, Jaren has turned a huge corner this season. He's
Yeah, yo, so like low key, Jaren Jackson's been kind of great this season. The Memphis Grizzlies, I would say, have the best like young core in the league. I think we can all agree on that, right? Like John Morant, Desmond Bain, Jaren Jackson, everybody. I think they got the best young core in the league.
already one of the better rim protectors in the league, and his block percentage in 2022 currently ranks in the top 75 all time, just ahead of Akeem Olajuwon's incredible 1990 season and Rudy Gobert's 2021.
That's
With
crazy.
his 7.5-foot wingspan, Jaren's always been able to alter shots, but he's had trouble staying on the floor without fouling himself out.
Yeah, that's a crazy
Some of
foul.
this was likely inexperience, but he also had issues controlling his body as he leaned into contests, and he could be a bit handsy at times and picked up fouls with little reaches or taps. The old officiating didn't do him any favors either,
Yeah,
and he was
no.
often the target of rip-throughs.
Low key, how did y'all feel about this new rule? Because I know at first when the season first started, everybody was struggling, but I think everybody's starting to get used to it now.
Over the last year or two, Jaren has blossomed into a man, adding a ton of muscle on his physique despite
Yeah,
just
that's a whole
turning
change for that.
22.
Yeah, that's a whole
And a
different
key
man.
this year to me has been his improved body control on these contests and some improved discipline. In the past, his momentum probably carries him into the shooter here, but he stays down and is able to time up the shot. Here's another example. He's ready to help on the roller or the dribbler, and instead of lunging for a block, he waits on Harden and then attacks the ball with his offhand for the turnover. Same situation here, where he's playing center and can slide down on a threat, and he waits until after Reggie Jackson jumps.
All right, so I know I keep pausing, but yeah, I knew like that was a thing where like last season he really couldn't play center because he was always in foul trouble, and plus like he's a great shooter, so like it was always that he was always in foul trouble. So it's good to see that he's actually like playing way better on defense this season and pretty much anchoring the Grizzlies defense. So
And that has no chance against Jaren. He's one of those defenders that can just eat up space with his size and length, and so you might not even think he's in the picture on an entry pass like this, and then he covers 15 feet in a single bound. As the game slows down for him with more experience, he can read plays and disrupt
look at this
high-value
play.
actions in the paint. I loved this sequence against a dangerous Luka Doncic pick and roll, where he leaves a non-shooter to slide toward the roll man, and he's close enough to jump on the pass, and that effectively kills the entire action and eats up a bunch of clock. I also love this play against LeBron, where Jaren has his antenna up and helps after a breakdown, only to be dunked on
Yeah.
by James.
Oh my god.
And
What?
you might be wondering, why on earth is being dunked on a good thing?
All right. So hold on. Before we get into that, this man is 37. Please appreciate this man. Why we still have him? LeBron got like 5 years left in him. If we're being real here, but like that's a
And it's
crazy
because
throwdown
he pulls
look.
his arms back to avoid a foul. This takes discipline and maturity. Maybe he makes the heroic block, but it wasn't worth the risk from that position. Compare that to some good old-fashioned rim protecting, stepping up and vertically contesting perfectly to erase a layup. And here's another picture-perfect help, positioning himself in front of the roller, then jumping backwards while tracking the ball with that huge outstretched arm
Yeah,
of
Cat's
his.
not easy to stop when
That's
he
the
gets
thing.
that stride in the
He doesn't
paint.
need to take heroic chances with this level of paint presence. stalking the ball in transition here and forcing a kick out, then immediately stepping up to completely erase a second drive.
Oh
And this
my
is some
God.
impressive accuracy with those hands.
That would have been a nasty
but
dunk.
then
That's a
he'll
crazy
turn
block.
around and commit a sloppy foul, reminding us that he hasn't mastered the art of breaking yet. This one's much better, where he closes to the line and decelerates perfectly, then swivels with Naz Reid for yet another block. So while there's
that's
room
actually
still
great
to
defense.
grow, Jaren's made great progress contesting without fouling, and his foul rates have taken a significant dip this year. Most Defensive Player of the Year winners are under 5 fouls per 100, so Jaren probably needs to curb his fouling a bit more to realize that defensive potential. Yet, he's a difference maker on one of the league's best defensive units, and he gives Memphis tactical versatility against varying opponents.
That's a
He can
great
switch
block.
onto most wings comfortably, and while he isn't a lockdown defender in those spots, he's still quite effective. He ends up on Harden Island here.
All right, so like, I know we're talking about the Grizzlies right now, but like, what's been with Clay lately? Like ever since Clay came back, he's been more of like an ISO player. Like he's been getting ISOs, trying to drive to the paint. Like I love to see it, but like it's crazy, and it's like what's been going on with Clay?
And he's within range of the step back, but snaps his hips around once Harden drives, and because he's under control, recovers to snatch this dunk attempt,
That's
and it's a jump
that's a great
ball.
block on Nicholas Claxton.
He's not quite Matisse Thybulle, but he's really
Yeah,
good
Matisse
at
is
challenging
different.
shots from behind, and he's even better timing up a challenge alongside a shooter. He's switched on a wing here, and once Jaren gets his hips alongside the ball handler, he can time up that challenge, and because he's so big, he can just wait until they jump before he leaves his feet.
Yeah,
Same
great
quarter,
positioning. That's all
same
that is.
thing against Anthony Edwards. Jaren spins his body around, flows from his stride into the leap, and he's at about 11 feet in the blink of an eye. Defending the pick and roll, he gives Memphis unlimited options. Here, he blitzes DeMar DeRozan and is able to slide with him but also recover back for a possible chase down off that pass. But he can...
All right, I know I keep pausing, but two things. I hope that Jaren Jackson and John Morant stay together for a long time, because like that's a nasty duo. I think they can do a lot of good things together. And what is Jaren Jackson's nickname? Like I've been calling him Trey J because that's what I heard, and I was like, that's kind of a fire nickname. What is his official nickname? I just call him Trey J. Like Grizzlies fans, please let me know, because I don't know.
can also come up to meet DeRozan at the level of the screen and just late switch onto him because this isn't much of a mismatch. And from the same game, he can execute the classic drop, keeping the ball and his man in
Yo, look
front
at
of
his
him
wingspan.
while playing goalkeeper at the rim.
That would have been a
If we
crazy
look
dunk
at
by
field goal
DeMar.
percentage against, Jackson's near the league leaders, with opponents shooting 15% worse than expected against him when they are within 6 feet of the hoop. It's a noisy stat, but he was near the top of the league in his first 2 seasons as well, and isn't too far off from rim-protecting royalty like Giannis Antetokounmpo and Rudy Gobert. On the offensive end, Jaren's primary weapon when he entered the league was bombing
shooter.
threes. He shot 38% on over 500 threes in his first 2
Yeah, that's crazy.
seasons.
That's a deep shot.
That number has dipped to 31% this year, but his overall shooting indicators, including 80+% from the line, make me think he's still solid from distance.
I've always said it looks like
That
he's
adds
throwing the ball
versatility
at
to
the rim when he
Grizzlies'
shoots.
offense because he can drain threes as a trailer in semi-transition, and he can get into those
Like
shots
his jump
off
shot's smooth. Don't get me
movement.
wrong.
This dribble handoff action is common for guards, but not 6'11" bigs
like,
who
look,
suddenly launch
It's like he's
into a
always just
triple.
throwing the ball at the
Since
rim.
Jackson's so comfortable floating into his threes, he's a viable pick and pop
That's a
weapon
bucket.
as well. And yet he can also turn and roll downhill, attacking backpedaling
Yeah, he's
defenders
very versatile, I'm not
after
gonna lie to
setting
you.
the screen. It's rare to see big men flying off corner screens like this, but Memphis again uses him like a wing. And one of the more common plays in the league is setting a flare screen for a perimeter player like this, only Jaren catches and attacks as a center on this kind of play. And this is where it gets really exciting because Jaren's shooting pulls out a big man, and then he can pass out of actions like this. He's still a limited distributor, but Memphis uses him in middle
It's
pick and
so
roll
crazy.
actions on these plays.
It's so crazy that when you see plays like actually breaking down, 'cause, like when you just watching the game live or whatever, it's like you never really notice it. But like when like you see it broken down, you see all like everything that happens, all the movement. It's truly crazy.
Just like he's a guard. This pairs nicely with movement shooting because he can flow from a spot up into something like a handoff, then throw a little pick and roll pass with all of the shot blockers pulled out of the paint. He can't convert all of these passes yet. He leaves this one a little bit short, but the ideas are manifesting, and hesitations into jump lobs are just insane for a 7-foot shot blocker. Jaren's biggest issue as a passer comes from head-down tunnel vision drives, where he can miss passes, but also end up a bit out of control, and that can lead to him picking up unnecessary offensive fouls.
Dang,
his drives are a bit of an adventure in that sense. He isn't completely under control.
What is Jaren Jackson, like 22?
And that impacts the shot.
Yeah,
yet,
a lot of potential for real.
He also has a knack for finishing at tough, awkward angles near the goal. Since his handle is showing some promise, and he's naturally gifted at finishing funky shots, that one's off the wrong leg, improved balance and a little more control would be a huge upgrade in these dynamic closeout situations.
Oh my God.
Slowing down like this and finishing with more strength would also improve his efficiency around the hoop, and that will help him bang down low as a post scorer. He already has a decent little lefty hook on the block, and he's getting strong enough to quickly take advantage of mismatches and back them closer to the cup. Jackson already draws free throws at a decent rate, but I don't think his key to stardom is scoring 25 or 30 a night. Instead, I think it's improving the quality of his broad palette of offensive options, staying under control, limiting fouls and turnovers, and boosting his passing and efficiency in the process. He's made a jump in some one-number metrics, and I think that's because his defense is rounding into form. The defensive-only version of many of these composite stats view him as a really good defender.
I'm not a stats guy or a number guy,
on that elite Memphis defense,
I don't know about none of this.
I tend to agree. There's still a ton of room for growth in the next 4 or 5 years, but I really like the way Jackson's playing lately, and so right now, I view him as a sub-all-star caliber player. If you want more Jaren, there's a few extra.
A sub all-star. I like that. I'm gonna start using that term because like there's a lot of players that I would say like CJ McCollum's like that. But yeah, I'm gonna start using that. I like that. Yeah. All right, man. There y'all have it, yo. Grizzlies fans, let me know y'all like Jaren Jackson. I mean, like I'm pretty sure like y'all enjoying y'all team right now. But yeah, like just let me know how y'all feeling. Drop a like, subscribe, leave a comment, and yeah, you shout out Thinking Basketball. Like I said, link in the video, always in the description. But yeah, the Grizzlies been going crazy this season, and I will hear me now. I will stand on and die on this hill. The Grizzlies have the best young core in the league, and I will stand on that. I don't care what nobody say. I will stand on that.